Hello there! I've just lost about half an hour watching a YouTube live of someone detecting in the field, not that far away from where I live. And I was like, I had serious FOMO. Now I've got to go. I've just got to go and go back to my field. So off I go once again. You know, who knows what we'll find? And this is the thing, isn't it? This is the wonderful thing about this hobby. One of the things I like the most about it is that you can go out and just for an hour, just to poodle about, to get a bit of fresh air. You can come back with a fantastic thing that you can spend the evening researching and cleaning and looking at and considering who would have had that thing and why was it there and why would they have been carrying it there and where were they going? What were they doing? And all those questions come from this one find. So, what thing will that be today? It's been stormy today. I can see up on the moor there is snow on the top of the hill. That's actually good weather for detectorists because when the ground is wet and cold, and often when there's a kind of electrical feeling in the air, kind of storm vibes happening, it does something to the detector. The detector kind of starts to respond and find things that are deeper and more, sometimes the smaller targets. So a piece of land you've been over before and found nothing, you suddenly find yourself digging up stuff that's of real interest. He who dares wins, or she who dares wins. Because girls can do detecting too, as I keep saying. This morning. We've currently got blue skies. Lovely coin. It's not often you see a coin here with that much detail on it. I can't see a date. As a coastal artist, I can tell you that when the sea looks like that, you're about to get very, very wet. I like this little ring. I don't know what it is. It might just be part of the chain, but I'll look it up when I get back. But it's now starting to rain, and I haven't actually got a waterproof coat on today. I might go and try and take some shelter under those trees. Ah! Here we go. Edge, and it's quite large. Probably part of an old light fitting or something, because it's got that sort of hole in the top, and it looks almost brass, doesn't it? It's a lovely find. See how it's left its imprint on the mud. Here's something I learnt about quite recently from one of you guys. When I first found one of these, I thought it was a lead weight, and I just found a load of Roman stuff, so I thought it was Roman, but no, it's a bullet. Cool, isn't it? Absolutely huge musket ball. I don't know if that is even a musket ball, it's so big. I mean, I don't know what they were going after with that. Those lambs are sneaking under the gate. All the little ones have gone under and they're all skipping about. That's naughty, little lambs. And their mums are stuck because they can't get underneath. that was great fun. And I'm glad I got out. I know it was a bit rainy, but I'd have only been stuck indoors. And I found that lovely scalloped piece that gave that amazing imprint in the soil, and that was my day maker. I guess now I'm going to go home, get warm, have a cup of tea, and clean up my bits and pieces, ready for the next trip. I don't know if you can hear that sound above my head, but it's a skylark. It says summer to me. I can always hear them singing above my head when I'm walking to the beach. They're amazing birds. They sing whilst they're sort of in midair, and they just hover and sing. So you can always hear their song above you. There's still snow on the top of the moor, but the rest of the county is warm. Well, warmer anyway. Still got my coat on. Got no particular plan, no particular place to be. It's a nice feeling. What a sky! Should we see what we can find? Yeah! Okay, first find of the day of any significance. Looks like it could be interesting. It's got a little kind of notch. Well, I'm not sure about that, but I think it's possibly a fragment of a buckle. Well, we've got the sound of the skylark accompanying us on this one. I'm back in the Roman area where I just found that Sestertius quite recently, and here is a, well, what is it? It's shaped like kind of like a point. Fortunately it's broken. I wonder if it's got any detail on it. Let's give it a clean. I'm using rainwater again because I don't want to damage the bronze, and it obviously is made of a copper alloy because it's got this lovely colour to it. Really nice, isn't it? I don't see any patterns on there, but it's certainly got a very nice shape. I don't know what kind of era that could be. Lovely thing. I've just found something I think is going to be very nice and sweet. It's a little post-medieval harness mount. Still got its pins. Oh, that's lovely, isn't it? Well, I'm really pleased with that. It's just so nice to find something so recognisable and with such a nice sentiment behind it, I think.
This is the best bit.
for me, something completely new that I don't know anything about is ammunition. So this is a musket ball, but as you see, it's really, really big, and I've looked up what kind of gun would have used a large musket ball like this. There is a type that uses the largest produced musket ball, and that's called the Brown Bess. And there was an examination done of 70 musket balls found in Britain, which were made between the 1700s and the 1800s, and they were found to be around 3/4 of an inch in diameter, which this one is, and they weighed 1.14 ounces. So I thought we could just do a quick check. There we go, that's going to be a Brown Bess musket ball. So now we know a bit more about what type of, I think it's quite interesting to think about what type of guns were roaming about on the fields. But then this one is slightly later. This is called a mini-A bullet, after the man that invented it. And this, apparently what happened with the musket gun is that you would have to ram this ball down the bore, and you would have to ram it down there, and where the gunpowder got kind of perished over time, it would make it much more difficult to push the musket ball down inside the gun. Whereas this bullet was invented which would rifle through the bore. It had a kind of spiralling effect, and because it's got a point on it as well, it did a lot more damage to whoever it was intended for. So two different types of gun, two different types of ammunition, but both of them are intended for to damage people. This one, the Brown Bess, was used by the British troops in the Crimean War kind of time. So I guess we can say that there was somebody in pursuit of somebody else on that land at some point in the last 200 to 300 years. I really like this little piece. It's, you know, it's nothing special, and actually quite a lot of people find these, but it's just nice to find, isn't it? Something that you recognise the shape. It's a horse brass. It would have decorated a horse harness. Pleased with my Victorian coin. You can see her face on there. It's a 1900s coin, and I think it's a halfpenny because it's quite small. You can just see Britannia there. Still pretty badly perished, but not bad for Devon. This one, on the other hand, this is a Georgian penny, and this is much more typical of the kind of coin I find here. All the copper alloy is completely gone. You can't even see the monarch anymore. But I just know from the feel of it that I think that's what it probably is. Buttons. Well, you might say buttons, boring, but no, I don't think so, because buttons, each one worn by a real person, dropped in a place whilst they're doing something. I mean, what kind of person wore a button like that? Someone pretty fancy, I reckon. This one was a surprise because when I cleaned it, it has a lovely decoration on it. I think maybe a lady might have worn that one. These have kind of had it, but still worn by a real person working in the fields. I find quite a lot of these kind of geometric shaped buttons. And this one has a little bit of gilt on it. Then we found a couple of buckles. I don't know what type of buckle that would once have been. Not sure, but I think pretty old because it's not exactly symmetrical. This, I've discovered, is a strap end, and that would have been to protect the end of a leather strap. Would have had another half to it, but you see it's got a kind of you can just make out that would have once had a hole there, a little bit like a watch strap, and that would be where the two halves were fixed together. It's obviously lost its other half. That would be a medieval strap end. And then a couple of things which I don't think are very old, but kind of quite fun anyway. This is a horse harness ring.
I've discovered since finding it in the field. It's actually a pretty nice ring, but I think because of its shape, I think it probably is or was a horse harness ring. And this thing, I think, I initially thought it might be part of a light fitting, but actually now I think it might have been part of a door handle, like the door furniture that goes on the door. But I'm not too sure about that. So, quite a nice selection of little objects. Hints of people that were there once. So see you all again very soon. Subscribe away to my channel. It's growing and I'm aiming to get 2,000 subscribers soon, so that would be brilliant if you could subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. See you soon.